talked to you, what, yesterday? Sunday, something like that? No, we're getting closer. Every day we're getting closer. Every day there's a little bit more separation. I just think we continue to have good days. You know, sometimes that conflict keeps those guys at their best, and so, you know, there may be some of that too, but we're getting closer to announcing a guy, or at least our team knowing that, you know, however Coach Taggart wants to do that, you know, obviously that's up to him. He's the head football coach, but getting closer every day. You know, I think we're starting to see some separation. I think the kids are more important, because that's who it's important to. You know, the other 10 guys know before we do. So starting to see some separation, and hopefully we'll get that done soon.
Well, when the guys have struggled, have you been happy with the way they've bounced back after a bad practice?
You know, I'll put it this way. There's no perfect way to fail. Every guy's a little bit different. I think just the most important thing is that people can fail forward. You know, that they understand there's no way to mastery except failing a little bit less every day. And so I've been excited about those guys and how they've handled their bad days. Sometimes they do it well, but that's also a learning experience too. You know, and so I think they've done a really nice job. When they have bad days, you know, coming back out the next day and rallying back, and you know, because that's something you got to be able to do during the season as well, from play to play, from drive to drive, and game to game.
Does it help you to some degree to have some of these coaches that have been with Coach Taggart for a long time in terms of knowing? I mean, you've been with him now for months, but some of those guys have been with him for
absolutely.
Does that help?
You know, I mean, just especially like, you know, when you're going to err on the side of something, are we going to choose this or choose this to get this rep a couple more times? You know, hey, Coach Pimp, you know, what's he really going to want to call in this situation? You know, I think that's where you're really lean. You know, especially just making sure that you're not repping something that when it really comes down to it, Coach Tag isn't going to call. And so, yeah, absolutely, just lean on those guys to make sure that, you know, we're putting our kids from a practice situation standpoint into things they're going to execute on game day.
Coach, in that same sense with Coach Fry and Coach Higgins, having a reference point about what Florida State is and what it's meant to be, what is it like to have those two guys as resources for you?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just not necessarily for myself, but for our kids. You know, they understand the standard of line play here. And I think that's something that needs to be reiterated to our kids daily, you know. And so just, you know, especially Coach Higgins, I mean, just they have coached great players. They know what it takes, and I think every day their kids hear that, they understand the plan and the why. You know, they'll probably be even better in terms of their growth.
Coach, how does Trey McKitty look during practice?
Really good. He's going to be a really good. He's going to be a really special one. I've been fortunate to be around some really good tight ends. He's going to be one of those guys someday.
Coach, the offensive line, some players have said that they feel just a little bit more together, and Coach Fry said they kind of have a little bit more confidence than maybe they had before. What are you seeing from that unit, and how good can they be this year for you guys?
I think the biggest thing for our offensive line is just health and continuing to add to the continuity. You know, they are much better than they were in spring. You can tell that group really worked hard this summer to really improve, not only like from a technical standpoint, but from just an overall system knowledge standpoint, from seeing signals to get lined up. Now it's just finding that best group of 5, who's 6, 7, 8, and 9, you know, and moving forward so those guys can really solidify spots and get comfortable playing beside each other.
How beneficial is it to have a guy like Alec Epperly, who's been a 3-year starter?
He really is. I know it's cliche, but he really is a coach on the field. You know, and it's not just in terms of alignment, assignment, and snapping the ball, but just from a leadership standpoint. It's like having another coach out there with those other 4 guys. So we expect big things from him. You know, and you know, you hope he stays healthy so he can have a great season.
Coach, at this point in camp, how much are you taking your quarterbacks and actually looking at what Virginia Tech does on defense?
We're starting to integrate a little bit of that daily. You know, we started adding, you know, a period or 2 of practice, you know, and then we'll start to, as we're watching what we do, kind of integrate, you know, what they do and how it'll fit versus those guys as well. So just slowly but surely, every day, just a little bit, and as obviously we get closer to game day, that'll increase.
Those guys lost a lot of players on defense last season. Are you guys kind of just looking back at old VTech film, and I know Coach Taggart has experience going up against Coach Fuente. I guess what are you guys kind of looking into prepare against that defense?
Yeah. I played against them 2 years at North Carolina when I was there. Had one really good one, one really bad one. Here's what I can tell you. Irregardless of what they have coming back, Coach Foster's going to have those guys ready. He's a great football coach, you know, and nothing but respect for that guy. I don't care who they put out there. They'll be ready to play.
2 more for Coach Bell.
Landon's transition to tackle, have you been impressed or pleased by what he's doing?
Yes, very pleased. You know, and I think not only is he, I think that kind of helps him. You know, he's been even better in some of the run game stuff, you know, from out there on the edge, and he's improving in his pass sets every day, you know, and just his acceptance. I mean, we put him out there, you know, no questions to why, just went out there and got better every day, and hopefully, again, you know, he's a guy that you'd love to see stay healthy, and so he can go be at his best.
What about his game made you believe that he could go out there and play tackle?
I think number one, just from a technical standpoint, he's really disciplined. You know, he may not be the perfect, you know, at anything, you know, from whatever measurable, but he's incredibly disciplined, you know, and so that's going to mean discipline in his pass sets. That's going to mean discipline in his punch. That's going to be knowing that he's really assignment sound, you know, in a run game. And so I think it's how hard he works, what a great kid he is, and how invested he is in our O-line and our success is what's going to make him a good tackle.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.